So this is part 2 of my Smolov Jr review, and the goal at the end of Smolov was to max out and achieve a bench of 120 kilos, given that my previous 1 rep max before the program started was 105. So I wanted to add 15 kilos to my max, which I think was what a lot of people who've done this program set out to do. So it seemed realistic, and if I got 120, I would honestly be kind of surprised, considering it would only take 3 weeks. So yeah, as you could see, 105 kilos was the start of this training block, and that's the training program that I followed. I kind of, on weights that I felt was too heavy, I would kind of I would round down the weight rather than round up, because obviously if it's 87 kilos or 86 or whatever, there's no weight that you can sort of put on the bar that could get you that number, so I just round down. But yeah, and obviously you will see what I end up achieving, but before we get to that, I just want to tell you whether or not I would do this program in the future. And it seems to me that I probably wouldn't continue, just because of the high amount of sets, in particular on days with no rest in between those days. That's when the highest amount of sets was. And I kind of just felt sluggish in those days. And I don't think, for health reasons, I don't think it's worth it. Other people will feel differently about it. Some people could handle the high volume, but I noticed for me it was just a bit too unnecessary doing 19 sets in 48 hours. It is way too much when it comes to strength training, at least. Also, I mentioned in part 1 that I picked up a wrist injury. It was a minor injury, but it's clearly you're prone to an injury in this training plan. And I think there's been quite a few people who've done this review who've said the same thing. And yeah, I just don't think it's worth it at that point, because my wrists were they felt, I felt a bit of a weird feeling in my wrists for 4 days. If that was worse, I probably wouldn't have been able to continue the program. So you're kind of playing with fire a bit when it comes to minor injuries. But yeah, I definitely should have benched before I started this. That was my biggest mistake. But anyway, this is 110 kilos. This would be 5 kilos over my 1 rep max. And yeah, nice and easy. That was very, very comfortable. So yeah, at least I got a 5 kilo PB there. So I would have been happy nonetheless. Not too happy, but I achieved my goal of improving my 1 rep max. And this is 115. So I felt confident going into this. Yeah, again, nice and easy. But after this, I was like, I don't know if I can get 120. I was a bit nervous for this one, to be honest. And I had to call a spotter to help me just in case. But yeah, this would be 15 kilos above the weight that I started with before this training plan. And yeah, nice and easy. I didn't pause it that long on my chest, but nonetheless, I'm still happy with it. And then here I attempt 20 kilos above. So this is 125 kilos. Wasn't expecting to get this at all. It feels a lot different than it looks. And we get it again. Now that bar felt extremely heavy. The eccentric it felt like death coming down onto my chest. So I was very surprised about that, but very happy with that. 20 kilos on my bench in 4 weeks. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.